little bit of a warning here, and if you're an Xbox fan, you're going to want to pay attention to this. What's up, everybody? Hopefully you guys are all having a great day, or whatever. I hope anyway. It's rough being an Xbox fan. Honestly, it is. It's extremely rough, and for me, the way that I look at some of these things in terms of what's going on with Xbox is kind of how I would express that people should be prepared to look at things in the future for like any future Xbox or whatever. Like there's people out there who do not believe that Xbox is going to do these types of things. They think that developers are gonna have as much love and care and swiftness with with their Xbox versions of games that they do as the PlayStation or whatever, and that's simply not going to be the case. And I know a lot of people don't believe that, but we can look at it, right? Like developers, Black Myth Wukong, they didn't really care about Xbox. I mean, people tried to make it out to be like, maybe it was this S that was the issue or something, but realistically, those developers were on record before as saying that the Xbox didn't really matter. That's not the only case. You did have a series with the S with like Baldur's Gate 3, but there's also numerous other games that have been kind of in a weird situation where we've seen them kind of just put Xbox on the back burner, and that's unfortunate in my opinion, but not unexpected. So it's kind of weird when people, to me anyway, kind of feel like there's some kind of issue going on, and people just kind of ignore it, and that's, I think, a really bad thing going on. So yeah, that, to me anyway, it is crazy to see that happening, and this is more bad news. So you guys might know, like, Red Dead, and I did a video on this before, is having issues with the updates. Personally, I still have not gotten the updates, and I own this game digitally. I have the digital version. I also have the physical version. Nothing is giving me a free update prompt. It still says I got to buy it for, $25 or whatever. And, they're saying it could be another week before that's fixed for everybody. But like Red Dead, Yakuza is also having upgrade discount issues on Xbox Series X and S as well. So yeah, last week Rockstar released a remastered version of Red Dead Redemption 1, bringing the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions of the games up to modern standards. The Xbox 360 version of the game was part of Microsoft's backwards compatibility program and already had a frame rate and resolution. Well, no, it didn't have a frame rate, but it did have resolution enhancements on the Series X and Xbox One X, owing to platform enhancements. The new version replaces that one, and Rockstar was offering it as a free upgrade for users on the old school version. However, the entitlements didn't work for almost a full week, and it seems that some people have been able to claim the free upgrade, but others have not, and there's issues on Microsoft's systems. Now, legendary Japanese action franchise Yakuza has a couple of enhanced versions going live this week. Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2, both of which have received a refresh for modern systems. The previous versions of the game have been fully delisted from all stores, with Studio Ryo ga Gotoku and publisher Sega expecting customers to move across to new versions instead. These versions should be discounted for those who own the old editions on Xbox. Alas, that is not currently the case. Issuing an update on X in Japanese, the studio apologized for the confusion over the discounted pricing for users on previous versions of Yakuza 1 and 2, stating that they are going to investigate the matter. And I quote, "Apologies regarding errors in discount settings for existing purchases of Xbox Series X and S versions of Like a Dragon 0, The Place of Val's Director's Cut, Yakuza Kiwami, and Yakuza Kiwami 2. We have confirmed that there was a period during which the discount for existing purchases, as announced in the news article, was not applied on the Xbox Series X and S versions correctly, and that the incorrect prices were set. We deeply apologize for any inconvenience this has caused to our customers. We are currently investigating the matter and taking steps to ensure the correct discount settings are applied. We will provide an update as soon as we have more information, so please kindly wait a little longer. So it's another frustrating exclusive to the Xbox platform, being that, not exclusive game, mind you, because we don't get those, but exclusive problem, and we can only speculate as to why this keeps happening. There's not really any speculation as to why it's happening. I mean, developers aren't going to be all in on an Xbox, right? The same way developers weren't all in on, the GameCube. The same way developers weren't all in on the, Dreamcast. The same way they weren't all in on the Wii U. It's like, yeah, Microsoft has more money and clout, and so they'll probably be able to kind of get some things kind of going that maybe Nintendo couldn't at that time, and they have a more powerful console. But at the same point in time, it's like, developers aren't going to put their full time and effort into a lot of these things for Xbox. And it's because they have, a lesser, install base and things like that. So, again, this is stuff that we're having to kind of deal with as fans. And, it's kind of weird to me seeing how, Microsoft is handling these things and how these developers are kind of handling these things. And, again, it's, it's annoying. It's frustratingly annoying. In recent interviews, according to the article, which I will link, it says that they've done interviews with Tom Sala of Falconeer fame and Dave O'Shry of New Blood Interactive. One frustration emerging from them and other developers that have been spoken to is Microsoft's backend for Xbox. On Steam, Valve expects publishers to handle their own sales and licensing entitlements. On Xbox, you have to go through an approval process. Given that we're close to the holiday season, it could be that Microsoft is operating on reduced staffing right now, which makes fixing these entitlements issues more difficult. In any case, obviously, it's one of those things that, not really much you can do about. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut is a re-release of a recent prequel in the main franchise, with Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2 being remakes of the PlayStation 2 classics. The refreshes have upgraded visuals, new English dubbing, and a variety of additional enhancements, bringing them up to modern standards. For users who own the previous versions, they were supposed to be discounted upgrades. As of this, the discounts aren't yet available, but you can look at the discounts if you sign in with your Microsoft account. Kiwami is $19.99, Kiwami 2 $19.99, Director's Cut $50. So yeah, interesting that that's kind of happening or whatever. But at the same point in time, not that surprising to me. And I would expect, if you're somebody that's pimping Microsoft's next gen ideas or whatever, I honestly, if you want kind of my idea of what Microsoft is doing, it does feel like they're pushing the Play Anywhere thing. So that perhaps, there could be a whole nother avenue to this. I don't think that Play Anywhere is going to last long, but I think that the idea is to go out there and, go out there and make sure that, people have a PC version of these games, as many games as possible, to absorb the blows when they, stop the hardware and stuff like that. That's a theory. I don't know if that's like something that I would just kind of take with a grain of salt. Obviously, they're pushing this Play Anywhere stuff pretty hard right now, but clearly you're not able to kind of work with your console library and things like that. That's why, we've heard rumors that maybe Microsoft were working with ways to put the backwards compatible games that we have now, like original Xbox and 360 stuff, working on Windows through some kind of thing. Will that ever come about? I don't know, because like I've mentioned before, emulation is a weird thing legally. Like, you can emulate a game that you own. Like, they could give us emulators, an emulator to emulate the games that we own, but they couldn't sell those games in their stores then, right? So if you're selling something, you need a license, and you need all the licenses and all that kind of stuff and permissions from the publishers. And that's why they stopped doing the backwards compatibility program in the first place, because so many had gone out of business and you can't get the licenses and et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, they could have given us stuff for free to emulate, but then they couldn't make any money from it, and it wouldn't make sense. So to me, I don't know, I think it'd be weird unless they're doing like physical hardware and the next Xbox is the same and doing dual hardware or something, which would be like crazy expensive. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. Are you guys able to upgrade? Interested? Do you guys find it odd that only Xbox is seemingly having these problems over and over and over again? Again, I would take this as a sign. It doesn't seem like we're going to get the best things in the future in terms of being able to get the full attention of developers. It seems like they just want to treat Xbox as like third class citizens. So rack them up. Crap Gamer out.